Hello there, students. Same cup of coffee, same day, different video. Today we're going to continue our learning of devices of sound, which are those techniques that help make a poem sound like a poem. We learned about rhyme, alliteration, assonance, and consonants in the last video. If you didn't check out part 1 yet, please go and check that one out first. Today we're going to learn about meter, onomatopoeia, rhythm, and repetition. Let's get into it.
All right, let's keep talking about how to write some really awesome sounding poetry. Last time we talked about rhyme, alliteration, assonance, and consonants. Today we're going to start with talking about meter. So meter is a measure of rhythmic quality, or the succession of groups of syllables in a line of poetry. So essentially, it's the way that you read a line of poetry different from the way you would read a sentence or have a conversation. So for example, when I'm reading this haiku, sun rises, sun sets, human business postponed, nature has not changed. So you hear that there is a certain rhythmic quality to that line. The way that we measure meter within poetry is with the metrical foot. Now, some poems are more constrained to certain types of meter than others. For example, if you're writing a sonnet, you would want that type of sonnet to be in iambic pentameter, which means it has an iamb, which is a certain type of poetic foot, stressed and unstressed, and it has 5 feet per line. However, if you're writing in free verse, you will still have a rhythmic quality, but you won't be constrained to a certain number of feet per line. So that's something to think about, something to be aware of in poetry, and we're going to talk more about that when we get into sonnets. The next thing is onomatopoeia. So this is the formation or use of words which imitate sounds like clang, sizzle, or if you're describing a fight, bang, bang. The device's sound is closely linked to imagery and sensory details. The more you use onomatopoeia, the more your reader is going to understand and be able to place themselves where your poem takes place. The last 2 things we're going to talk about are rhythm and repetition. Rhythm is strong, regular repetition of sound. So if we go back to the poem from the last video, where it was the fog crept in on little cat feet, those repeated T's help build a rhythmic quality to the poem. Repetition, on the other hand, is the poet repeating words or phrases to draw attention to a particular point. So, for example, if a poem says the phrase, today I did this, this, this. Today I did this, this, this. That repeated emphasis of the word today tells you that there's something really important in that word. So it emphasizes. When you're looking at theme or you're looking at the message of a poem, repetition is something that you really want to look out for. I hope after listening to this presentation you have a few more ideas about how to incorporate sound into your poetry or how to look for intentional uses of sound in other people's poetry.